Hey there, fellow mind explorers. I'm Dave and welcome back. Today we're diving into 8 psychological facts that'll make you be astounded about yourself and the people around you. These aren't just fun facts, they're insights that might just change how you approach your daily life. So grab your favorite snack and let's unravel some mysteries of the mind together. Alright, let's talk about that Barry White effect. You know how a deep voice can make you weak in the knees? Well, there's science behind that. Studies show that both men and women often find deeper voices more attractive. But here's the plot twist: women also tend to perceive men with deeper voices as more likely to cheat. It's like nature's way of saying, proceed with caution so next time you're swooning over that baritone on your dating app, remember it might be telling you more than just hello beautiful. Picture this: you're frantically searching for your keys, tearing apart your living room, only to find them right on the coffee table where you left them. Sound familiar? Well, you're not alone, and there's a name for this inattentional blindness. In a famous study, radiologists missed a gorilla image on a lung scan because they were so focused on finding nodules. It's like our brain has blinders on sometimes. So next time you can't find something, take a deep breath and look again with fresh eyes. That missing item might just be hiding in plain sight. Okay, let's talk about something we all do. Even though we might not want to admit it, stereotyping. We like to think we're above it, but the truth is, our brains are wired to take shortcuts, and stereotypes are one of those shortcuts. For example, have you ever caught yourself assuming someone's smart just because they wear glasses? Or maybe you've thought a person in a suit must be successful. I'll confess, I once assumed a tattooed person at a playground was trouble, only to find out he was a pediatrician and an amazing dad. Here's the kicker: a study from Harvard showed that even when we consciously reject stereotypes, our subconscious mind still uses them. It's like our brain has a mind of its own, pun intended. But here's why this matters: these unconscious biases can affect everything from who we hire to how we treat people in everyday life. And it starts young. Kids as young as 6 can start internalizing stereotypes about gender and race. So what can we do? First, acknowledge that we all have biases. It doesn't make us bad people, it makes us human. Second, challenge those assumptions. Next time you catch yourself making a snap judgment, pause and ask yourself, why do I think that? Here is a fun exercise: try to catch stereotypes in movies or TV shows. Once you start looking, you'll see them everywhere. It's a great way to become more aware and start breaking down those mental shortcuts. Remember, being aware of our biases is the first step to breaking them down, and in doing so, we're not just improving ourselves, we're creating a more open-minded world for the next generation. Now that's something worth striving for, don't you think? Alright, let's talk about something we've all experienced: that one friend who always seems to be complaining. You know the type: everything's wrong, nothing's fair, and don't even get them started on the weather. Well, turns out there's some fascinating psychology behind this behavior. Research shows that people who are unhappy tend to criticize others more readily. It's like they're wearing grumpy goggles that make everything look worse. And here's the kicker: this negativity can be contagious. I remember a time when I was going through a tough breakup. Suddenly, every happy couple I saw annoyed me. I found myself making snarky comments about my friends' relationships. It wasn't until my bestie called me out that I realized what I was doing. But why does this happen? Well, psychologists suggest it's partly a defense mechanism. When we're feeling down, putting others down can make us feel temporarily better about ourselves. It's like misery doesn't just love company, it actively recruits it. The problem is, this creates a vicious cycle. The more negative we are, the more negativity we attract, and the unhappier we become. It's like being stuck in a hamster wheel of grumpiness. Okay folks, get ready for this one. It might just change how you look at your weekend chores. Did you know that mowing your lawn can actually make you happier? I know, it sounds like something your dad might say to trick you into doing yard work, but hear me out. Australian researchers found that the smell of freshly cut grass releases chemicals that make us feel happy and relaxed. It's like nature's own aromatherapy. Now, I'll admit, when I first heard this, I was skeptical. I mean, my idea of a perfect Saturday definitely didn't involve pushing a lawnmower around. But then I thought back to my childhood, and you know what? Some of my happiest memories involve that fresh cut grass smell, playing in the sprinklers after Dad mowed the lawn, having picnics in the park, or just lying on the grass watching clouds go by. So I decided to put it to the test. Instead of grumbling about yard work, I tried to focus on the sensory experience. And you know what? It actually made a difference. The smell, the satisfying lines in the grass, The sense of accomplishment, it all added up to a pretty good mood boost. But here's the thing, it's not just about mowing lawns. This fact points to something bigger: how our environment and sensory experiences can impact our mood. Some other examples: the smell of baking cookies can evoke feelings of comfort and nostalgia, the sound of waves can induce relaxation, and even looking at the color green has been shown to reduce stress. So how can we use this knowledge to boost our happiness? Here are a few ideas to create a sensory-rich environment at home. Maybe it's a scented candle, a soft blanket, or some plants. Take time to notice pleasant smells and sights in your daily life. It's like a mini meditation. If you don't have a lawn, try visiting a park, or even just smelling some fresh herbs. Use these sensory cues as mood reset buttons when you're feeling stressed. And here's a fun idea: why not make lawn mowing or any core a social activity? Invite a friend over, take turns mowing, and then enjoy a cool drink together afterward. You'll get the mood boost from the grass, the exercise, and the social connection. Remember, happiness doesn't always come from big, exciting events. Sometimes it's right there in the simple, everyday experiences like the smell of freshly cut grass. So next time you're doing yard work, take a deep breath and enjoy the happiness boost. Your lawn and your mood will thank you. Alright, confession time. Who here has ever ugly cried during a movie and then felt strangely good afterwards? It turns out there's a fascinating psychological reason behind this. Research from Ohio State University found that watching heart-wrenching movies actually makes us think deeper and can increase our happiness. I know it sounds counterintuitive, right? But stick with me here. Picture this: it's a rainy Sunday afternoon and you're curled up on the couch watching The Notebook or Marley Me for the umpteenth time. You're sobbing into your popcorn, mascara running everywhere, but by the time the credits roll, you feel oddly uplifted. Sound familiar? Here's what's happening in your brain. These emotional films trigger something called reflective thinking. Basically, they make us ponder our own relationships and experiences. It's like the movie holds up a mirror to our lives, making us appreciate what we have. I remember watching Inside Out with my niece. By the end, I was a blubbering mess. Don't judge me, it's a deep movie. But it also made me reflect on my own childhood memories and how they shaped me. I called my parents that evening just to say I love you. So why does this matter? Well, it turns out this reflection can lead to increased gratitude for our relationships, a deeper understanding of our own emotions, greater empathy for others, and a sense of connection to shared human experiences. But here's the cool part: it's not just movies. The same effect can come from reading emotional books, listening to moving music, and even watching touching YouTube videos. So how can we use this knowledge to boost our happiness? Don't shy away from emotional content. It might just give you a new perspective on life. After watching a moving film or reading an emotional book, take some time to reflect. What did it make you think about in your own life? Use these experiences as a springboard for connection. Talk about the movie with friends, or reach out to loved ones it made you think of. Keep a journal to jot down your reflections. You might be surprised at the insights you gain. Remember, it's okay to feel deeply. In fact, it might just make you happier in the long run. So next time someone teases you for crying at a movie, you can tell them you're not being a softie, you're practicing emotional intelligence. Have you ever noticed how you sit up straighter when your boss walks by? Or how you suddenly become a model citizen when you spot a police car in your rearview mirror? Well, there's a fascinating psychological principle behind this, and it's called the observer effect. Research shows that people who think they're being watched tend to behave better. It's like we all turn into angels when we feel eyes on us. But here's where it gets really interesting. Studies have found that even the thought of being watched can change our behavior. For example, in one experiment, putting a picture of eyes above a donation box increased contributions by 48%. Another study found that staff in a cafeteria were more likely to clean up after themselves when there was a poster with eyes on the wall. So why does this happen? Psychologists think it's tied to our desire for social acceptance. We want to be seen as good, law-abiding citizens, even if the observer is just a pair of printed eyes on a poster. Now, before you go installing cameras all over your house, let's think about how we can use this knowledge positively. If you're trying to build a new habit, like exercising regularly, try putting a mirror in your workout space. You might find yourself pushing a little harder. Working from home and having trouble staying focused? Try a video call with a friend where you both work silently. Just knowing someone can see you might boost your productivity. Want to encourage better behavior in a public space? Some communities have had success with putting up posters with eyes to reduce littering. Use this knowledge to be more mindful of your actions. Ask yourself, would I do this if someone was watching? It can be a great moral compass. But here's an important caveat: while external motivation can be useful, it's even better to develop intrinsic motivation, doing the right thing because it aligns with your values, not just because someone might be watching. So next time you feel like you're being watched, remember it might just be bringing out the best in you. And who knows, maybe that invisible observer is just your better self, keeping an eye on things. Okay, let's talk about something we've all done at some point: lying. Now, before you start feeling guilty, remember I'm not here to judge. I'm here to explain why telling lies is actually harder than you might think. Research shows that lying requires a lot more mental effort than telling the truth. It's like your brain is doing Olympic-level gymnastics, while the truth is just taking a leisurely stroll in the park. Let me paint a picture for you. Remember that time you told your friend you loved the birthday gift they gave you, even though it was, well, not quite your style? Your brain had to remember what the actual gift was, come up with a convincing lie about liking it, make sure your facial expressions matched your words, and keep track of this lie for future conversations. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. Now, here's a personal story. Last year, I tried to surprise my partner with a birthday party. For weeks, I was juggling lies about my whereabouts, hiding decorations, and coordinating with friends in secret. By the time the party rolled around, I was so mentally drained that I almost shouted surprise before he even walked through the door. But why is lying so taxing on our brains? Neuroscientists have found that when we lie, our brains work harder to suppress the truth. We need to create and remember a false narrative, and we have to monitor our behavior to appear convincing. It's like running multiple mental programs at once, while telling the truth is just your brain's default setting. So what can we learn from this? If you find yourself constantly exhausted from maintaining lies, it might be time for some honest self-reflection. In relationships, honesty really is the best policy, not just morally, but for your mental health too. If you suspect someone's lying to you, look for signs of mental strain. They might stumble over details or seem unusually tired. When you're tempted to lie, ask yourself, is the mental effort worth it? Often the truth, even if uncomfortable, is easier in the long run. If you must tell a white lie, we're all human, after all. Keep it simple. The more complex the lie, the more mental gymnastics you'll need to do. Here's a fun experiment. Try going a whole day without telling even the smallest lie. You might be surprised at how much mental energy you save and how much simpler life becomes. And there you have it, folks. 8 psychological facts that hopefully made you think and maybe even see yourself and others a bit differently. Remember, understanding these quirks of our minds doesn't just make us smarter, it can help us be more empathetic, make better decisions, and even boost our happiness. So which fact resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below and let's chat about it. If you enjoyed this mind-bending journey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more brain buzz. And hey, why not share this video with a friend? Maybe it'll explain why they always beat you at chess. Until next time, stay curious, be kind to your beautiful complex mind, and keep buzzing. Oh, and one last thing, don't forget to ring that notification bell. It's probably right there in plain sight, but inattentional blindness and all that. Take care and